So let's go ahead and get started. If you would like, you may remove your shoes. I'm going to for myself, but you don't have to. It's just when you are shoeless, you can get a little more stimulus in the nerves of the feet, which can be very or is very beneficial to balance. However, if there's any foot problems, or excessive flat feet or anything that you need support in, then you definitely should still wear your shoes. Just remove them if that's comfortable for you. Okay, we're going to stand nice and tall and start with a little breathing, bringing the hands over the sides and taking a moment to focus on our posture. So a really good point for the posture is think of the crown of the head to rise. Try not to let the chest just come out. In fact, because when we stand at attention, that actually puts strain on the lower back, and it's not actually very good for your posture. So relax the chest, but instead think of the spine rising. So back rising. Rib cage should be just neutral, kind of shouldn't be flared out. The shoulders are relaxed. And we have the hands on the sides so that we can focus on breathing into the lower abdomen and not just in the stomach, but also expanding into the sides and even the lower back. Like you want to imagine you have a ball basically here, right below the rib cage. And as you inhale, the muscles that basically form that ball or that barrel, they all expand. All right. And that's what draws air into the lungs. It's actually the pressure that we can create with these muscles working in coordination. And you want all of them to work. So you want to think of even breathing into your back and sides to have just a good functional breathing system and support, because not only do those muscles bring in more oxygen to the lungs, but they also provide stability and support for your spine and your hips. And that stability is critical for our balance. Okay, good posture, good slow breathing. As we breathe, the shoulders should be totally relaxed. They shouldn't be rising and falling. Instead, the motion of the breath should be here in the lower abdomen. And then we'll take a nice breath in and exhale. Keeping that focus of our posture and breath in mind as we continue. Actually adjust. Okay, so let's shift our weight to one side and we're going to circle the heel. Make sure that your chair is close by in case you lose your balance. You want to have something that you can hang on to gain balance again. Reverse directions of this foot. All right, shift to the other side, circle the heel. Kind of gently pivoting on the ball of the foot. And reverse directions. Keeping that posture tall and just looking straight ahead. The second we look down at our foot, we kind of mess up our posture. So just keep everything nice and upright. Let's do another one for the foot and also the hips. We're going to pivot on the heel, in and out. Right. Very good. Let's go to the other side. Pivot in and out on the heel. All right, very good. Shift to the other side. Pivot on the ball of the foot now, bringing the heel out and in. And you can kind of move that whole hip. Don't just focus on the foot. Try to get the hip moving as well. All right, other side. Lifting up the heel. Pivot on the ball of the foot. And relax. Very good. All right. Going to very gently Just kind of bend to place the hands over the knees. And we're going to do a little knee circle. So we're going to kind of bend the knees forward, bring them slightly out, and then backwards. So it's a very subtle knee circle. We're focusing on kind of bringing those knees outward. Gently warming the knees up. Right, then come on back up. Very good. We're going to place the hands on the hips, bend the knees slightly, and circle primarily the pelvis. So circling the hip, but focus on the pelvis, kind of keep the knees bent to facilitate that motion. And we're kind of keeping the head stable. So it's just the pelvis moving, head stays upright. Good, reverse directions. And relax, gently come on back up. Very good. The pelvis kind of warmed up. We're going to do a little hinge motion. So keeping our back straight, we bend forward and back, moving through the hips via the pelvis. So the pelvis is tilting forward, allowing the upper body to bend forward. Try not to bend through the back. And there is a pretty clear stopping point for most of us. It depends largely on the flexibility of your hamstrings. So I don't have the most flexible hamstring. So right about here is where I have to stop. If I go any further, I'm going through the back. So I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I'm feeling it all in the legs as I hinge. All right, very good. And relax. We'll widen our stance now. We're going to turn the hips side to side. Or as we shift our weight side to side, we're turning the hips to one side and then to the other. You can slightly bend the knee as you do so. All right, very good. Back to the middle. Let's stand nice and tall, raise one arm if it's comfortable, and then lean over to the side, looking down. Inhale up, switch arms, lean over gently. Inhale up. Let's do it again. Inhale, and last one. Very good. Roll those shoulders back. Very nice. All right. Next, we're going to very gently support the back of the hands kind of on the lower back above the hip. And we're going to gently bring the hips forward and gently lean backward. Relax. And just go to a range that's comfortable, that you don't feel unbalanced or anything. Inhale up. Very good. Relax. Roll the shoulders back. All right, bring your hands together. Let's stir the pot. For this one, really reach out in front of you. Inhale back up. Out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. All right, other direction. Out. Inhale. Out. Inhale. One more time. Very nice. Okay. And finally, we're going to work on the neck. Bring the chin to the chest, looking straight down. And then bring the head back up gently. Look over one shoulder. Across, look over the other. Back to the middle. Gently tilt the head to the side. Middle, and to the other side. Middle. Let's repeat that. Looking down. Gently back up. Look over one shoulder. Cross, look over the other. Back to the middle. Tilt the head. middle, and other side. Back to the middle. And just kind of roll the shoulders back, just kind of loosen up any tension between the shoulders and neck. And let's finish up with just a little more of a warm up, getting the arms and legs moving together with some high knees. Now this does involve a little balance, so do this near your chair. Make sure your chair is within range. And you can lift as high as you feel comfortable. Warming up those hips and shoulders. All right, let's do the speed skaters as well. So for this one, we're bending the heel back. Make sure there's nothing straight behind you. I've done it before where I kick the wall or something behind me. So just bring that foot straight back. Like you're skating. And we're getting a nice little stretch in those quad muscles. All right, very good. And finally, we're going to do what I call a side step with a twist. We're going to step to the side, reach across as we step in, step out, reach across. So we're reaching with the opposite arm. Nice little side steps. All right, and let's do one more. This is going to challenge a little bit of our reactive balance, which is really important. So make sure you're near your chair, close by. We're going to be stepping forward, and then stepping back. All right, so we're going to go foot, back. So forward, back. And what the goal is to do this as quickly as you can. So switch directions quickly. All right. I think of like crossing the street and there's a car coming, so I have to quickly back up. Some of those crazy drivers out there. So try, to do this quickly switching directions. That just is really important, that reaction time. Your agility is very much linked to your balance. It's like the same system in the body, your nervous system. So being able to quickly react and practicing quick motion is really good, but controlled quick motion. So obviously you don't want to be causing any pain for you. All right, relax. Catch your breath. Inhale, exhale. If you need to take a quick seat or anything, feel free to. This class is mostly standing. So, if at any point lower back or anything is causing some discomfort, take a seat, take a load off. One of the best ways to alleviate lower back pain is giving that knee a hug, all right? So do that as you need to, okay? Our next thing we're gonna be working on is our strengthening for our lower body. So get ready. And we are going to be standing again and doing our squat. Alternative to this would be doing a sit to stand, which means if you're sitting, you can stand up and then sit back down. That's the same muscles that we use when we do a squat. So either one that you're comfortable with, either sitting and standing or doing a squat from standing position. All right, our feet are forward. They should be at least shoulder width apart. So it doesn't have to be, we don't want to have them super long, but super wide, but really important, we don't want them to be too narrow. If we try to squat when they're narrow, our knees are not going to be too happy. So wider stance. And bringing those hips back, like we're sitting in a chair, and then coming up. And if you're doing the sit to stand, you can sit down and then stand up. All right. So good squat. We're doing 10 of these. Just go as low as you feel comfortable. 4, 5, keeping those knees right above your feet. 6, bringing those hips back. Don't let the knees pass the toes. 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to do something a little different today. We're actually going to repeat all the exercises we do a second set. All right. So for this first round, if something felt a little bit off, you could try, something else. I would recommend if you find for the squat, it was a little bit challenging, you couldn't go very far, try the sit to stand. And just to highlight what a sit stand looks like, you can use your hands just standing up and sitting down, and you're just being mindful of those knees. So we're going to be doing a second set in a bit, but let's move on to the next exercise, which is still standing, hip flexion. All right. So standing by our chair, hanging onto the chair, lifting that knee up, and then slowly down. All right. Good control. For those of you that have been doing this for a while, you may be able to do it without hanging on. Just make sure you do it with good control and that you're keeping your posture nice and tall. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Go to the other side. Let's move my chair. All right, ready. Up and slowly down. It's 1, 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. All right, switching legs. Gonna do hip abduction. So going straight out to the side. So toes pointing forward, okay? Keeping the body tall. Here we go. It's not a big motion. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and slow. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Other leg. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay, other leg, almost last one, second to last. Going straight back, last hip exercise. Bringing our leg straight back, keeping it straight, making sure you keep the body tall. All right, so 1, leading with the heel. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Other side. And go for it. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stay nice and tall. 8, 9, 10. All right. Shake out the hips. Keep everything loose. The last one of the circuit, we're going to lift the heels up and slowly lower down. So up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay, shake it out. So as I mentioned, we're going to do a second set, a little change in pace. I want you to, we're going to focus a lot on that strengthening of these muscles. So for the second set, I'm actually going to demonstrate the sit to stand, but you're welcome for that first exercise to do a squat in place of it, okay? But if you'd like to do sit to stand, feel free to. It'll be starting in a seated position. All right, so feet are still wide, just like a squat. And also, it's good that you're trying it because you'll be able to notice the similarity between a squat and a sit stand. This, feel free to use your hands. I'm going to demonstrate without using hands, but feel free to use your hands as needed to stand up. And we're doing 10, but you can always stop sooner. If your knees or anything start hurting, obviously we don't want to push through that pain. Try to, take a break, and you don't have to complete the set or the repetitions. All right, so ready? 10 times. Up. 1. Now, the muscles we're using squeezing the glutes and the core. It's 2. The quad muscles are more secondary. 4. So we don't want to feel it too much in these muscles. Feel it more in the butt. 5 more. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. And actually, we'll stay standing once you get a break, and then come on over. And we're going to start that second set of the other exercises, the hip strengthening. So if you're wondering why are we doing all this stuff, it's not really directly balanced. I would argue it is. There's a very strong correlation between lower body strength and balance. Being able to keep good balance is really dependent on our strength. So, hip flexors now. 3, nice and tall. 4, and obviously for this, if you're doing it without hanging on, it's a good challenge your balance. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, other side. Ready, and go for it. Slowly down. 1, keeping the body tall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay, abduction. Make sure you keep those hips loose. Sometimes we have some residual tension, so just keep everything loose in between. All right, nice and tall. Feet are facing forward, lifting to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Other side. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. All right. Check out those hips. I got one more for the hips. Bringing the leg straight back. Ready, and go. Straight back. 1. Squeezing the glute. 2, 3, 4, 5. Staying tall. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Other leg. Ready, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Shake out the hips. And lastly, the ankles. So coming up and slowly down. That's 1. Slowly down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Check it out. Excellent job. All right, so good focus on strength today. We're going to, before we sit for some stretching, let's do a quick little calf stretch behind our chair. Bring your leg back, shift the weight forward, press that back heel into the ground while you bring that weight forward. Okay, good work, switching legs. relax, very good. All right, and let's sit on down on the chair, give our back a little break. And we're going to hug the knee to chest gently. You may hug the knee with the hands in front. You could also come under the knee if that's more comfortable. Sometimes, you know, if the knee has anything going on, you might feel excess tension holding it here. So holding here is fine too. The main thing is just bringing that hip up toward the hip chest. Breathing low. And relax, switching legs. Nice. Let's get the piriformis. Crossing one leg over the other, gently pressing the knee down. Now, I will say that if this muscle is excessively tight, it can directly affect low back pain. You know, so if you find that, you know, it's really hard to get that knee down, it's feels pretty tight, that could be a big link as to why there's some back pain. Whenever the hips are excessively tight, it often transmits just, you know, your lower back muscles tend to overwork themselves and leading to pain. So the more you can make your hips a little more mobile, a little more limber, that will often take the load off your lower back. And I say this from experience. I think I've mentioned before, like I used to be going to switch legs, walking at too slow of a pace, like at the mall with my now wife. I would get excruciating back pain. It was just too slow, you know. But my body was just used to, you know, running around all the time. My lower back muscles didn't know how to work with a slower pace. But a big part of that was that I was not very flexible in my hips either. I hadn't worked on that very much since, actually really since doing these classes for you all, I get the benefit of getting flexibility improvement as well. And since that, I've had almost zero pain. All right, let's get our legs out in front of us, or one leg out in front of us for a hamstring stretch. Gently shifting the weight forward. Very nice hamstring hold. Now we want to keep the back straight, at least initially, for this stretch. And who remembers how long do we always want to stretch the hamstring for? 1 whole minute. Yep, that is the minimum. All other stretches you could get by with 15 seconds, ideally 30. The hamstring is one of those muscle groups that you need to stretch for at least a minute to really have any real improvement. At least with these static stretches. There's other kinds of ways to stretch it that are different. When you're doing a holding stretch, 1 minute is the minimum for your hamstring. Okay, for the last 15 seconds, if you'd like to try to reach for the toes, go ahead. And I like to try to reach with both hands if possible. And inhale back up, very good. Switching legs. So hinge forward first, supporting your back here. Toes pointed up. Right, for the last 15 seconds, if you'd like to reach for your toes, go ahead. And relax, inhale up. Very good. All right, you may either remain seated or stand up for a few upper body stretches. So whatever's more comfortable for you. We're going to start with a low back stretch or underarm back stretch. So bringing your arm, the back of your hand up the lower back, and try to just be in an upright position as best as you can. You could be sitting still, it's fine. All right, keep that shoulder neutral. Very good. Relax, wind. Other side, back of the hand, just going up the back. Okay. Just keeping that shoulder nice and neutral. Main thing we don't want the shoulder to do is roll forward, which sometimes happens when we're overly reaching. And relax, roll the shoulders back. Let's get the other side of that. We're going to reach over and push the elbow up. Relax, switching arms, reach over, push the elbow up. And relax. Bring one hand to the side of the head gently and tilt the head very gently. If it's comfortable, you may also rotate the head and look down just to get a little more stretch toward the back of the neck and those upper back muscles. Slowly bring the head back to the middle and we'll switch sides, very gently tilting. If it's comfortable, you may gently rotate the head to look down to get a little more stretch toward the back of the neck. Slowly back to the middle. Very good. Bring both of your hands behind the head, tuck the head back, open the elbows wide. Relax. Good. Roll the shoulders back. Last one, hands out front, open back to the sides, and turn the hands palms up. Nice stretch in your chest and shoulders. Really good for our posture, countering the tight muscles in the front of the body that tend to pull us forward. And relax. Very good. And then let's close, taking a nice breath in and slowly out. Let's do that again. Nice breath. Very good job.